If you've ever searched for natural remedies for stronger, shinier, and healthier hair, chances are you've come across the tame rice water. It's been trending on social media, beauty blogs, and YouTube tutorials. But the real question is, what actually happens if you consistently use rice water on your hair for 2 whole weeks? Does it really transform your hair, or is it just another internet fad? Today, we're going to explore exactly that. The science, the tradition, and the real results behind using rice water on your hair. To start, let's go back in history. The use of rice water for hair isn't a new trend, it dates back centuries. In fact, women from the Heian period in Japan were known for their incredibly long, beautiful hair, which they maintained with rice water rinses. Even today, the Yao women of Huangluo village in China, often called the long hair village, have thick, flaw-length hair that they credit to rice water. So while the internet might make it seem like a new discovery, this is actually an age-old beauty secret. So, what exactly is rice water? Simply put, it's the starchy water left over after soaking or boiling rice. But this simple-looking liquid is far more powerful than it appears. Rice water is packed with nutrients, like amino acids, vitamins B and E, minerals, and antioxidants. These are the same building blocks that your hair needs to stay strong and healthy. One of the most talked about components in rice water is inositol, a carbohydrate that can repair damaged hair and even protect it from future breakage. Now let's imagine using rice water every other day, or at least a few times a week, for 2 weeks straight. What changes can you expect to see? In the first few washes, you'll probably notice how your hair feels different, maybe a little smoother or softer to the touch. Rice water has a natural conditioning effect. It coats the hair strands, which can reduce friction, making your hair feel silkier when you run your fingers through it. As you move into the middle of the 2 weeks, let's say around the 1-week mark, some people start noticing a visible difference in shine. Because rice water is rich in amino acids and vitamins, it helps to smooth out the hair cuticle, reflecting more light. Your hair might start to look glossier, almost like you've used a salon treatment. But the real transformation often comes by the 2nd week. If your hair was prone to breakage, you might notice less hair falling out in the shower or fewer strands left on your hairbrush. That's the strengthening effect of inositol at work, repairing the hair from within. For people struggling with frizz or split ends, rice water can help tame and smooth those problem areas, leaving hair more manageable. Now, let's address a question many people have. Does rice water make your hair grow faster? This is one of the most popular claims. While rice water doesn't directly speed up hair growth like magic, it does create the perfect environment for healthy growth. Think about it. If your hair is breaking less, if the scalp is healthier, and if the strands are stronger, then you're retaining more length over time. In 2 weeks, you may not notice a dramatic length difference, but you could notice your hair feeling fuller, stronger, and more resilient. At this point, you might be wondering, how do you even make rice water, and how should you use it for the best results? The simplest method is to soak half a cup of rice in 2 to 3 cups of water for about 30 minutes, then strain out the rice and keep the water. Some people like to ferment the rice water by leaving it at room temperature for a day before refrigerating it, which can boost the antioxidant levels. Once you have your rice water, you can use it as a rinse after shampooing. Just pour it over your hair, massage it into your scalp, leave it on for 10 to 20 minutes, and rinse with plain water. But here's an important tip: moderation is key. Using rice water too often or leaving it in your hair for too long can sometimes cause protein overload, which makes hair feel stiff and brittle. That's why using it a few times per week is ideal, especially if your hair is fine or sensitive. So, what are the benefits people commonly report after using rice water consistently for 2 weeks? Let's sum it up. Softer and smoother hair, more shine and luster, less breakage and fewer split ends, easier detangling and styling, a healthier scalp environment, and in the long run, better length retention. Of course, results vary from person to person. Some people swear by rice water and see dramatic improvements, while others might not notice a huge difference. Factors like your hair type, texture, and overall hair health play a role in how well rice water works for you. Another thing to mention is that rice water is a completely natural and inexpensive remedy. Instead of buying expensive hair masks or treatments, you're essentially using something that's already in your kitchen. It's cost-effective, simple, and rooted in centuries of tradition. So, after 2 weeks of consistent use, here's the most likely outcome. Your hair will look shinier, feel softer, and break less. While you might not suddenly grow Rapunzel-length hair, you'll be setting the foundation for stronger, healthier hair that grows better over time. And perhaps the biggest takeaway is this: hair care doesn't always need to be complicated or expensive. Sometimes, the most effective remedies are the simplest ones, passed down from generations who relied on nature's resources. Rice water is a perfect example of that. So if you're curious, why not give it a try? 2 weeks is enough to see noticeable results. And who knows, you might just find your new favorite hair care secret.